Hey, Big V here, Verl Workman. Today we're talking teams, and I want to discover with you and I want to share with you how to delegate like a pro and why it's so important to learn how to be a great delegator. It's one thing to be a great leader, but if nobody follows you, it's possible you're only taking a walk. So I want you to think about how to let things go. You know, the word delegate, we hear it all the time, but nobody actually teaches anybody how to delegate. And you know, delegation is not as hard as it seems. It's just that it requires a little bit of a knowledge of understanding that there's not just one type of delegation. I think we should play the music video from Frozen that says, "Let it go." What are the things and activities that you're doing in your business or life that you shouldn't be doing? And how do you determine whether or not you should let it go? One of the things we like to do is we like to do a roles and responsibility chart where we list all of the things that get done in your business every single day. And then we put in a little note in the column that says $100 an hour. Now here's the question. Would you be willing to pay $100 an hour to someone else to do that task? If the answer is no, you shouldn't be doing it yourself. You see, as a leader, I can't take you from where you are to the next level if you spend any of your day doing tasks that you can delegate for $15 to $25 an hour. You have to let things go, and you have to create systems and processes and people that will do those tasks so you can focus on what we call is the highest return on time. The reason people don't delegate isn't because they don't want to, it's they don't know how to. And so let me share with you, first of all, the 3 levels of delegation. The first one is task level delegation. That's the most basic thing. That's where you ask a specific task or activity to somebody who works for you and you say, do this task the way I tell you to do it. The second one is what we call authority level delegation. At this level, the manager delegates not only the task, but also the authority to make the decision. I want you to go do this, and you have the authority to make the decision on whether or not it's the best choice. Could be something as easy as ordering lunch or doing a catering meal. The manager sets the guidelines and the boundaries for the objectives, not the leader. It's when you give them the authority to make that decision. The third level of delegation is probably the highest level of delegation. We call it outcome level delegation. That's the highest level where the manager not only tasks and gives authority, but also full responsibility for the outcome. I'm trusting you to do it. I'm giving you all the empowerment you need to make the decision, but I'm going to hold you responsible for the outcome. More sales. By effectively utilizing these 3 levels of delegation, what happens is managers can empower their teams and they foster this culture of trust and accountability, and they're able to achieve greater productivity because the leader lets it go. So when should you delegate? When do you decide it's time to delegate? I like to say that when you start finding yourself doing things that you know somebody else could do for less instead of being with your family or with your friends or doing the things that you enjoy most in life. And so effective time management means that you look at what you're doing and look at what you could be doing and whether or not it gives you greater joy or whether it earns you more income. So let me give you a few tips of when you know it's time to delegate. Number 1 is when you lack the necessary expertise. I like to say if it's on your SWOT analysis as a weakness, it's not that it's going to go away, but just delegate it. You already suck at it, so don't focus on the activity that's a weakness for you. I don't do my own data entry for accounting, not because I can't do it, but because it's not my strength. And somebody else who has a strength in accounting can do it much better and give me the data I need as a leader to make decisions. When you're overwhelmed with responsibility, oh my gosh, have you ever had the busy day, nothing accomplished day, where you come home and you sit in your chair and you're like so worn out and your spouse says to you, "So what'd you do today?" And you're like, "I have no idea." That overwhelmed feeling means you have all these responsibilities and you don't know what you did all day because you didn't do anything that actually moved you closer to your goals. So when you're overwhelmed with responsibilities, it's time to start delegating. When you need to focus on your higher priority responsibilities, and I'll give you an example. There's only 2 things that a team leader should focus on, and that's business development and people development. And so if you're doing other tasks in the day that's not directly related to developing your people or generating new opportunities for your team, it's time to delegate those activities. When you want to develop team members, when you see people that have great potential and you want them to grow, start giving them tasks and start delegating things that you would normally do. That's where growth comes in. When you challenge your team members, that's when growth happens. When you need to build trust and collaboration is critical. So delegating tasks, it demonstrates not only that you have confidence in someone, but you actually trust them. So if you want a team culture where trust lives, you have to give people the empowerment to do the tasks and trust that they'll do it right. And when they don't, it's okay. We don't have people problems, we have process problems, so we focus on how do we fix the process so that we always do it right. When you want to foster a culture of efficiency and productivity where everybody's doing things that helps them be more productive in their day, that's when you delegate. When you need to balance your workloads, you've got somebody on the team that is overloaded with a task, you let other people step in and help them. Delegation doesn't always come from the team leader, it might come from other members of the team as well. Overall, this whole concept of delegation is such a valuable tool for effective leadership and teamwork. And by knowing how and when to delegate, that's That's when tasks get done and everybody's performance increases. We talked about what to delegate and when to delegate. Let's talk a little bit about why. What's the why behind it? Because when you focus on delegation, it allows you to focus on your priorities. When you delegate, you get to do the things that give you the highest return on your time. It optimizes efficiency and productivity within the team because everybody's doing the thing that they're most likely suited to do. Everybody grows. When we develop our team members, it gives you more confidence in being able to delegate more and even to create larger scale. It promotes collaboration, empowerment. When people feel empowered, they do more. And they do more with less direction. It prevents burnout and keeps you from being overwhelmed. If you feel like you're about done with this business, it's time to delegate. If you feel like you're overwhelmed, it's time to delegate systems and processes and people. It increases innovation and creativity. When you allow other people to bring their life experiences and their innovation and creativity to your business starts taking on a new look and feel. It creates more opportunities for everybody involved, and it develops trust. There's so many ways of delegating. We actually created a video, a whole entire hour on how to delegate like a pro. And if you stay to the end of this video, I'm going to give you the download, a direct link on how to delegate like a pro, and you can do that. Remember that even the most successful people in the world delegate. They delegate systems not because they can't do it, but because they shouldn't do it. Delegation is a choice, and it's a choice every team leader must make. Click on the link right here below. Go in and watch the entire video on how to delegate like a pro, and you'll be well on your way to creating and building a company focused on not just delegation, but life balance.